Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to listen to some mumbly jumbly. All the way from St. Albans, your host for tonight, Abs the Magic, Supercoach Godfather.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're going to summarize everything. We're going to prepare for round one now. Now it's time to get serious, okay? Just calm it down, everyone who's panicking out there. I see a lot of panic. Everyone's confusion right now. Just don't be confusion, okay? We've done all the hard work. We should have everything under control right now, okay? We've done the 102 videos. We've done all the player reviews. We're going to now summarize everything, okay? We're going to go through it, analyze everything what we've done, so that you completely understand where you stand and what kind of team you need to create, okay? I've done it all for you, okay? Well, not just myself. Other content creators have done it for you as well. So, the easy part starts now, not the hard part. The hard part's over. Now it's all easy, okay? Let me explain it for you now, okay? Just calm it down. Okay, now, step number one. What we have to do, we need to look at player reviews again, okay? If you're not sure about a player, we do a review, or the reviews will show you how to research players anyway. Now, what you need, 11 keepers. We'll call them keepers for now because some people are confusion with keepers and primos, because they are primos, but for me they're keepers as well, because some are underpriced, so that they think that they're not a keeper because the price is too cheap. Well, they are keepers, okay? Players like Gulden. Anyway, we'll continue with that now. The player reviews, we did for a reason. We only want 11 of them, all right? We've done about 60 reviews, but we're only looking for 11 players, okay? That's the aim. So let's review the player reviews now. Okay, let's review now. Okay, let's continue now. Playlists. Go into playlists, and you'll find here view player reviews. Go to a full list of the player reviews. Okay, now I've reviewed all of them. Now I'm going to review my review, okay, because there are also role changes, and sometimes you're not familiar with a player's ability to play in a certain role. A player like Dom Sheed, I still think he'll go about 90, all right? So, and he'll still make his money. He'll make a little bit of cash, okay? So Dom Sheed is one. Scott Lysette, it's a pass now, Lysette. He looks like one year out of the game, so I'd pass on him. Warpool, in this review, I said if he's a second midfielder at Hawthorn, he's worth getting. Well, the review was correct because it looks like he is a second midfielder at Hawthorn, and he is worth getting. The Doherty review was spot on, okay? The Darcy Cameron review was spot on. It was perfect, actually. The Jordan Ridley review was spot on, okay? Nothing wrong with the Jordan Ridley review. The Ed Richards review, that was also spot on. The only problem is we didn't get to see much of him in the pre-season, so we're not sure yet of his role. So that's the problem. We wanted to see his role. We haven't seen it. So it's probably a pass, because even though we analyze his previous roles, we want to see what his current role is. That's the idea of these reviews, okay? Salem, I called it a pass. Well, now he's injured, so it's already a pass. Parrish, well, you have to also factor in their draw, okay? Essendon have a tough draw for midfielders in the first 3 rounds. They got 2 tags coming, so Parrish could be interesting. Draper, okay, I said you need Coolionis to get him. Okay, you still need them. You need bigger ones than what I thought. Okay, I thought you need some Coolionis, but you need big Coolionis to start with Draper. So, Hayden Young, I called it a pass. I was correct. It still is a pass. Nat Fife, I called it a pass. I still regard it as a pass. Tom Mitchell, I called it a lock. Now I've changed my mind, okay, and I got this one wrong. Okay, I'd say this one is not a lock. It's a go for the heart. Angus Brayshaw, okay, I called him go off the hearts. Depending on role, we don't know what the role is still, because we had a problem because this man, Salem, didn't play in the preseason. He was injured, so it sort of changed Brayshaw's role. So probably out of the question now. Tom Green looks like a lock. Okay, Elliot Yeo, I called him a lock at the start on this preview. Now I'm sort of changing it to go after Hearts because I'm not sure if it's a lock, but at his price and in defence, it balances your team out, so it sort of is a lock. Okay, I gave reasons why I won't start with Oliver. I stick by this reason. I'm not starting for Oliver, okay, and I stick by my reason. Nick Dacos, I said I called it go after Hearts. I stick with that still. Go after Hearts. Luke Davis-Uniacke, okay, it's a tough one. I didn't see enough in the practice game. I wouldn't want to start him. Same with Anderson, both of them. Okay, I don't think I'd start with both of them. Connor Rosie, I said I was going to start with him. Now I'm definitely going to start with him. John Newcomb, I said no, and I still stick by no. Wayne Milera, I said no, I stick by it. Adam Sard, I said is a lock. Well, I didn't say lock, I said go after Hearts. Still go after Hart. We didn't see much of him in the practice game. We only saw one game, but we know what he can do. So I know he's going to take kickouts. Same verdict on Adam Sard. Hopper, we said it's a lock. Warner, I said go after Hart. I stick with that. Probably pass on him as well. McRae, depending which role he gets, he could be huge. He could go 1/3. He could be a 700k player. Well, not really 700, maybe 650k player. He could be a gun if he gets that midfield spot. Flanders, I called it a pass. I've changed my mind. Okay, go off the Hart now. Depending on role, which is what I said as well. Looks like he's playing a bit more up the ground now, so I like it. Caulfield, I called it a pass. I stick by it. Zeeble, I said get him in. Role dependent. His role's good. I'm still not sure about him, so let's think about it. Bontempelli, lock the keys. I said throw the keys away. If you don't have Bond, you don't have a 5-star team. I stick by it. Perkins, I said it's a pass. I stick by it. Dan Houston, no good. I said it's a pass. Taranto, I said get him in. Well, we're still getting him in. Now, Cummings, the interesting one. With Cummings, I said probably a pass. But I don't know now because GWS seem to have a lot of scores coming out of their defence. So maybe I wouldn't start with him, but I'd consider bringing him in as a correction trade later on. So it's something you need to think about with Cumming. It's same as Ash. Both of them have potential now, which I didn't think they would have. Wines, I said it's a pass. It looks like hasn't had a proper pre-season. I'll stick with that. Taranto, I said get him in. Jack Steele, I said get him in. Now I'm not sure. His buy round worries me, but Jack Steele is Jack Steele. He's going to always be a high-scoring midfielder, okay? But I'm not sure if he's the best option now. I said he was underpriced. He still is, but I'm not 100% sold on him. And his buy round is very bad. Okay, round 12. I've got too many on that round now. I wasn't thinking about getting Goulden back then. Now I've got Goulden as well. Rowan Marshall, I said throw away the keys. I was absolutely correct on that one. Throw away the keys. Grundy, I said it's a pass. I stick by it. It's a pass. Long, I said watch his role. Now we watched his role. He was playing on Green. Now Green, so it means he was playing in the back pockets. I don't like that role. Okay, so it's a pass for me on Ben Long. If he played in a half back, I would love his role. But in the back pocket, I'm passing. Bailey Smith is a pass for me. Okay, yeah, I gave the reasons on this video. Oscar Allen the same. Now Oscar Allen, Hunter Clark. I said watch his role. Didn't like his role. Didn't play his role that well, so it's a pass. Dunkley is a lock. Horn Francis, I may have changed my mind. It's a watch. Okay, it's a possible correction trade if he plays well in the first 2 games. Keep an eye on him. Lloyd Meek was a pass. It still is a pass. Witz was get him in. Okay, if you got the cash. O'Brien, I wasn't sure about, and I'm still not sure about it. Okay. Toby Nank, pass. I said Hickey, lock him in, but he got injured. So that's out of the question. Nick Nat got injured. So that's out of the question. Mills, I said worry about him. His role is scary. I was correct. His role is still scary, so pass. Zach Merritt has a dangerous opening couple of rounds. We didn't know that the teams that we're going to tag the way they're tagging, so pass on Zero because of his opening rounds. Lockie Whitfield played in defence, looked okay, but just a watch for now. Wait and see. Tom Powell, again, it's going to be a correction trade if you get him in. Okay, I can't start with him, but I can pay the correction trade and get him in. So these were our reviews. They were pretty much close to being spot on, all of them. Just a few minor changes, but the main one was Tom Mitchell. I said he's a lock, but he wasn't. And Angus Brayshaw, but he had a role change. So that's our reviews. So you know the sort of players you want to get. What's our next step? Yeah, our next step is to find the rookies and the mid-prices, or the high-scoring cheapos that we can put on fields. Okay, we want to maximise our points on field. That's vital. Okay, we want to also make 150k profit minimum, and make sure they have job security and have a good role. Now, all of this one builds your structure. Your structure is based around these rookies and mid-prices. These are the first players that you pick in your team. These players that we've done reviews for are not the first players you pick. These are the top-ups, okay? These are the players you add on top of your structure. Your structure, you know, when you build a house, you have the structure. You have the foundation. Well, this is your foundation, okay? The rookies and mid-prices are your foundation, all right? And they start your structure. Okay, then you put your structure on top. Then the keepers and the primos are like are the finishing touches. Okay, they're luxuries you put in there. Okay, that's a finishing touch. Like you put your microwave, you put those fancy doors. If you're building a house, so this is the primos are more or less there to get. You know, they're the ones you're going to keep. But these are the ones that are going to build your team. This is it. The rookies and the mid prices. Okay, you need them. Now, let's continue with, let's go through these videos. Okay, let's go back a bit. Just going to find you something. Actually, let's go to all these videos. This is what you should be looking for, okay, if you haven't already watched it. Let's get rid. Now, the practice games. Friday practice game, Saturday practice game, and the Sunday practice game. Well, actually, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday it was. So, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. These were vital, okay? Not just from my perspective. Look at the other podcasters' perspective. It doesn't mean what I say is right. Have a look at all the analysis. These are vital, okay? Because these will give you an idea of the rookies and the mid-prices, okay? This is what we were looking for. This was the information we needed to build that foundation on the bottom. This was it. So once you got this right, picking the rest is easy. This is the hardest part. Getting the right rookies, getting the right mid-prices. Now, our next step, number 3, is to identify weakness, okay? Our team should have no weaknesses. We don't want any passengers in our team, okay? We may have to carry 1 or 2. We don't want to carry anyone. We want a team committed. We want our team, all of them putting in 100%. Just calm it down. Anyway, we're going to have some weaknesses. We're going to have to identify them now. We have identified that there is a weakness in all our teams, and that's the F5, F6, and most likely D6. These are our weaknesses. D6 is the least of the weakness, okay? F5 and F6 is the stronger of the weakness. We need to find something that can balance our team out so that we don't have this weakness. And to do this, we had a solution. Well, it wasn't really a solution, okay? It was sort of going through all the options. And this was the video here. The F5 and F6 spots. Choosing the right spots, okay? So we had to find who can hold this spot for us. So we went through all the options, and it's all on this video here. Now, our next step, we had to work out the magic number effect, okay? What we're trying to do is buy lower than the competitors. We want to buy our players cheaper than what they paid for them, okay? We're looking for value is what we're looking for. We want our players, okay? So our players, our primo players I'm talking about, if they're going to lose cash, they can lose a little bit, okay? Maximum 30k they can lose. That's okay. We can live with that, all right? But we don't want our players to lose 100k. That'll be disaster. okay? Because now you're opening up the gates for the competition to have a 100k advantage over you. You don't want that. That's the last thing you want, okay? You have 200,000 people playing this game. 200,000. It's a mathematical game, all right, as well as a game of skill. You're trying to balance everything out. You also need a bit of luck. But if you're going to give a 100k advantage to your opponents, they're going to run over you. All right? There's no way you can catch up to them once you give them a 100k advantage. So you don't want to lose 100k on a player. That's disaster. It happened to me in 2021. Where I lost 150k on one player. That was the end of my season. I finished top 3,000. I couldn't finish. I had a bad. It was my worst ever year because it was the first time ever I made that mistake. That was on Lockie Neal. I'll never do that mistake ever again. And sometimes you got to learn from your mistakes, and I learned very fast because the following year I finished in the top 4. So I learned very quick, and that's a mistake. Not lose 100k on one player. All right. The next thing is you got to make sure that you buy. So it's buy low, sell high. Okay. Now sell high. You don't have to sell at the highest as long as you sell high. If you make 150k profit, okay, that's perfect. However, you can make 130k. It doesn't have to be 150k. You can make 130k. As long as the player that you're buying, so the player you're buying has lost 100k, it doesn't matter if you don't make, you're still making money, okay? You may have lost 20k of extra profit you're going to make, but you're picking up a player that's lost 100k, so you're actually making profit. So sometimes you can sell not at the highest, you can sell a bit lower than the highest. I've explained this to you as well. It doesn't have to be at the peak, all right? As long as you're buying into another stock, that's going to rise again. That's the main thing. You got to keep that money floating and rising, and also there has to be a primo, obviously, but mathematics and your cash generation is vital. All right, it's your prime. Now I'll show you some videos that I did on this. There's one video I did out here. Okay, there's a few of them, but my latest one, you have to watch this one. Okay, playing in the stock market, Supercoach trading like you've never seen before. I want you to watch this one. Okay. If you haven't watched it, only 1,600 views, so I don't think everyone's watched it yet. So if you haven't watched it and you built a team, you need to watch it, okay? And this will go through the magic number proper, and it'll give you a complete understanding of what to expect. Okay, number 5, that's going to be planning for buy rounds, okay? This is vital. If you don't plan for your buy rounds, you're in trouble from the get-go. You need a plan. I've made a plan for you, okay? And this plan is actually very good. Unfortunately, not everyone understands why I did it, why I'm mentioning it, or why I did it like this. It's confusion to some people, but it works, okay? And your buy rounds is going to push you up the rankings again. It's a boost. It's like a power boost you get. Sometimes you need a power boost. And last year, I had the opposite of a power boost. Everyone else had a power boost except for me. I went downhill only because all my players got injured in the buy round. So even though I planned it, it didn't work out. But there's one thing you need to know. But you can't help bad luck. Okay, can't help it. Okay, it's just gonna happen. Okay, but what you can do is put the odds. Put the odds in your favor. Okay, you need to put the odds in your favor. You need to have a. If you don't have the bad luck and the odds are in your favor, you're gonna fly. All right. But if you have the odds in your favor and you have bad luck, it's just bad luck. Okay, it's just the way it is. You can't prevent that. But you're a coach. You can only prevent what you can prevent. Okay, and the buy rounds, you can prevent it. You can prevent carnage. This video here, where is it? Let me find it. My press conference. Okay, I had a press conference. I even went out of my way and I had to face the cameras for you guys. Okay, I did a press conference. This one here tells you all about the buy rounds and how to plan for it. Okay, it's everything is mentioned in here, and it's some vital information that you need to know. This is, if you haven't watched this one yet, although 2,000 of you have watched it, but maybe watch it again if you didn't understand it. Okay, until you understand it, because you need to understand it. Okay, now our next step. We need to plan for our trades. Okay, we need to plan ahead. You can't think about today. You have to think about tomorrow. Okay, it doesn't work. Just go ahead, go with the flow. You don't go with the flow. Don't go with the flow. Okay, because then what are you relying on? You're relying on luck. If you go with the flow, you're just going to rely on luck. Okay, if you want to just rely on luck and just play the game, that's how I'm playing fantasy. I'm just relying on luck. I don't care. But if you want to win super, I'm not talking about finishing in the top 1,000 and going with the flow. I'm talking about winning this. Okay, we can all have an aim. What is your goal? Is your goal to win, or is your goal just to have fun? If your goal is just to have fun, then go with the flow. Okay, no problems. Okay, have fun. That's no problems. But you have a chance to win. So if you have a chance to win, don't rely on luck. Okay, forget luck. Don't go with the flow. Okay, go with a plan. You need a plan, and you need to plan for your trades. I've actually done a video on this as well. This video here, we have a plan. That's the video you need to watch. If you haven't watched it already, you need a plan, okay? And make sure you have a plan, because this is a good plan, okay? This is looking at deep into analysing which players to bring in at which times, okay? Now, it's not always going to work. Plans don't always come to fruition. That's a big word for me. Just calm it down. But you need a plan, okay? We need to look at something. We need to find somewhere where we can have an advantage over the other players. Okay, there's 200,000 of them. We have to beat them all. It's not easy. So, plan is needed. I've done the plan for you here. Okay, number 7. Build your team. Okay, now you can build your team. You have all the knowledge you need. Okay. You've got all the player reviews. You know which ones are good, which ones are going to be okay for you. You should have also done your own research, okay? Don't just follow my research. Do your own. Rookies and mid-prices, high-scoring cheapos on field. You've already done all this, okay? Identify weaknesses. So you got to have to find areas where you got to field stronger players. You've identified this. The magic number effect. Don't overpay, okay? You've identified this. You've identified which players to pick, because you're playing for the buy rounds. You've identified which players not to pick because you want to get them later on. You don't want to go with the flow. Okay, we don't go with the flow. Now you can build your team. Now you've built your team. Now we're gonna now analyze your team. You're gonna analyze your own team. Okay, you can do it yourself. It's not easy, not hard. I'm gonna show you how. Okay, after you build this team, you're gonna analyze it. So let's call it analyze. Analyze your team, okay? So how are you going to analyze this team? Well, follow the chart. Which chart? Which chart am I talking about, you ask? Okay, I've made you a chart. Okay, I'm going to show you the charts. Okay, your aim is 2100 plus. That's your score you want to get from this chart. Okay, let me show you the chart. Okay, here's the chart. Now, in defense, if you have a player that's priced at over 600 plus, get a calculator out. Okay, get the calculator. Put 110 in there. Any player in defense, 500 to 600, get the calculator. Add another 100. Okay, you're gonna do your own score. This is not an accurate chart. It's a rough chart. Okay, however, it's pretty close to giving you a proper structure. A player that has 400 to 500, don't touch them in defense. Any player priced between 4 and 500. Let them go. Okay, don't worry about them. Any player 300 to 400, give them a 90. Any player 200 to 300, give them a 70. Okay, so you're pretty much going to go along this chart. If a player in defense is 150 to 200, give them a 60. If it's 102 to 150, score them a 50. Okay, so we're going to follow this chart. Same goes to the midfield. Okay, so that's your midfield. So I'll give you time to pause and get this out the way. Let's go to the midfield. This will give you time to pause the midfield. Okay, I want this chart done. 690 plus, give them 130. Then add another 130 for the captain, because you're going to double it, okay? Because you're going to have to in the captain score. If you don't have a 690 plus player, use a 630 to 690 and give them 120, all right? Then double it. So any player price between 630 and 690 is a 120. Any player price 690 plus is a 130, all right? Any player price 600 to 630, I give them 115, right? Because that's what we want from them. A 500 to 600 player is a 105. That's what I've given them. But make sure your selection is proper, because you have to also do the research on the player. So I'm assuming you don't just pick any player for this 2 to 300 or 3 to 400. Not any player can get 90. You have to pick the right ones. Okay, so you've got to make sure that you've done the research and you've got the right player. And once you've got the right player, then give them this score. A player like Yo, for example, okay, you give him a 90. All right. Now, same applies to your midfield. Any player priced between 300 and 400, give them a 90. However, any player priced between 400 and 500 equals don't touch. Okay, let them go. You don't want them. Okay, you don't want anyone priced between 400 and 500 in your midfields. You only want 3 to 400 and 500 to 600, but you have to pick the right ones. Okay, that's the trick, finding the right ones. But now go by this philosophy now for the rucks. Anyone 600 plus, give them a 110. Anyone 550 to 600, give them a 100. 450 to 550, a 90. Anyone else, give them an 80. All right, but that's not including the cheapo ones. Don't give them any team. You don't put anyone under 200k in your team. Under 200 as an R2. Don't touch. Okay, you obviously got to do your research to get the right players. Now your forwards, the top 6 mid forwards, give them 100. All right, we're just going by average. Okay, we're talking about the Caniglios and whoever you want to put in there. Just give them 100. Okay, Dunkley, and just for now, that's what we're working on. Anyone between 300 and 350, give them an 85, because that's what we need from them. All right. Anyone 215 to 300, give them 75. 200 to 215, give them a 70. Everything else, give them a 50. So any player under 200, give them a 50. And what score do you come up with? I'll show you what I came up with my score. That was my score, 2120. Now, I've changed it from 2100 to 2050, all right? And if you go under 2000, don't panic, all right? It's not the end of the world, because my chart is not correct. It's just a rough estimate. I'm only guessing. A rookie might score 120, and a mid-pricer might score 70, and my chart's straight down to the bin. Down, the gurgler it goes. So it doesn't mean that it's accurate. It's just a guide. Just a rough guide. Very rough, okay? So please do understand that it's a rough guide. So don't be depressed if you see your team is going at 1900 and go, oh my God, what's wrong with my team? Nothing was wrong with your team, okay? It still might be good, all right? It's just, as I said, it's just a rough guide. And I've got to follow some kind of chart. I've got to make some kind of guide. And that was the best guide I can make a little chart up and sort of give you an indication of your team structure, how it's balanced, okay? Now, when picking your players, you need to go for your heart, all right? And you've got to, if you're desired, let's say you want to pick Caniglio, and other people say don't pick Caniglio, just pick Caniglio. If you want to pick Darcy Cameron, and people are saying don't pick Darcy Cameron, just go and pick Darcy Cameron, okay? You got to go with your heart. If you want to pick Dacos, and people are saying he's going to get tagged, don't pick him, just pick him, okay? If you really want to pick him, just pick him. It's your team. But I've just gone through all the possible scenarios. I've deeply analysed everything when I picked my team. All right, so I've gone through every process possible, and it's foolproof. Everything here I've done is foolproof, because you're not going to have the best starting team regardless. Whatever you pick, it's gonna have mistakes. So be prepared to make correction trades and just get and be on the front foot straight away. That's all I can say. All right, enjoy the game. All right, have fun. And just put the odds in your favour. That's all I'm saying. Put the odds in do all your research. Put the odds in your favour when you're selecting your starting team. But don't be disappointed in round one and just throw your team in the garbage bin and say, it had a bad score, it's no good. No, you can fix it. Correction trades, okay? Get it done straight away. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. It's a bit longer than what I thought I was going to make. I don't like making long episodes, but this one went a bit long. But thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.